Reflection paper on Wolf Chapter 4. Wolf describes this chapter's decisive question as how the nature of God ought to inform relations between men and women, as well as their construction of femininity and masculinity. He goes on to explain why all specifically masculine or feminine content of the language about God comes not from God, who is neither male nor female, but from us, whom God created, both male and female, in the image of God. We humans have wrongfully projected onto God our own ideas of what it means to be masculine or feminine. Wolf encourages us to resist all use of God language for the construction of gender identity, and to instead accept that God models not our gender specificity, but our common humanity. Wolf develops the idea that our gender identities are rooted in the specificity of our distinct sexed bodies, something that we share not with God, but with animals. Wolf helpfully distinguishes between sex as a biological category and gender as a social category. Gender identity is socially constructed and a result of interaction between men and women in a given culture. We must look to the character of the divine Trinity and Trinitarian relations for our model for how to live from a motivation of self-giving love in a community of men and women in which we have distinct yet dynamic gender identities with equal dignity, symmetrical, and encompass the other in the self. From earliest childhood, I have noticed and known persons who did not fit neatly into socially acceptable gender categories. Usually we became good friends, as I have always been drawn to the ones on the margins. Those of us who self-identified as tomboys were a not much persecuted group. Others had a far worse time of it, with effeminate boys likely receiving the worst of both public and private bullying. More personally, I have acutely felt the pain from Wolf's accurate assertion that most cultures, especially the public domains, are androcentric, and women are either excluded or pressured to conform through outright discrimination and oppression. As I read this chapter, I imagined all kinds of conversations with various people in my life, realizing anew the importance of being careful with language. There are so many landmines. Ground rules of grace may need to be established so that productive conversations can even occur, especially when it comes to using terminology that seems to be continually and rapidly changing. In my church, one intentional pastoral strategy I apply is to continually develop safe spaces in which people are free to dialogue and ask honest and open-ended questions without fear of shaming or reprisals. Everyone deserves to be respected and given a chance to be heard and understood. I've noticed that almost every family faces some kind of private challenge in the general arena of gender identity. They seem to choose to only share it privately in seeking pastoral prayer or counsel precisely because of the ugly dogmatism to which Wolf refers, couched in a rhetoric of love and shielded by divine commands. Lord, have mercy on us all as we seek to truly love you as you love and not remain trapped by our own blindness and judgments. May we together learn and practice the way of self-giving love characterized by dignity, symmetry, and embrace.